So 95% of you viewers that are watching the Overseer channel are not subscribed. So you'll pay for that by killing William Gifter at long last. He was the weak line in the family tree. I would subscribe now or you want me under your bed.
Hey guys, welcome back to Overseer History Season 2 Episode 1, Type A Mark 1. This is the first Overseer aircraft to debut back in January 6, 2021. It was the first Overseer aircraft to have the 1x2 engine, and it was the first and only one with slime blocks as its motor at a 1x2. There was two different variants. I will give out the first special mention in the books, and we'll probably see it in another episode. Maybe next episode we'll see it. But special mention number 1 is the Type A-Cs, which were the cargoes for Delivery Co. The other mentions a 101 build off from that, even though they weren't related, is Henry Gifter's Type A 245-F, which is a Frontier model. Definitely cool history. Stay tuned for next. Guys, and welcome back to Overseer History Season 2, Episode 2. This is the first special mention of the Type A subclass. This is Type A-C, which standed for cargo, which I said in the first episode, but this is it in full view. As you can see, 5 barrels, honey, and slime blocks. Instead of the old Overseer dark blue and purple, or light blue and purple, it is a pink and a gray to match Alex Rogers' CEO branch, which was Delivery Co. There was about 20 of the 250 Type A's that were ever built were turned into these things. There's only a few surviving examples. We don't know where they're stored. Hopefully gonna bring them to the Overseer Museum one day. But yeah, this is our special mention. Definitely a beast of a machine. It does still work if anyone builds them. They still run. Hi guys, and welcome back to Overseer History Season 2 Episode 3. The second and final mention of the Type A subclass. Type A 245F, also known as the Frontier model. This model came into be from William's grandfather, Henry William George Gifter. He requested one for an early birthday present, and he got one. He modified it, souped it up, got rid of it. Shares a lot with the Cargo Type C, but it's shorter and has iron plates. He removed the gun and made a few adjustments to the engine, and this thing became one of the most iconic things in the Codex lore and also the upcoming series episodes on the other side on my main, which I'll have a link down below. But anyway, guys, hit like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. I'm going to be posting these daily as much as I can, but thank you guys. Guys, and welcome back to Overseer History Season 2 Episode 4, the Type B. The Type B was introduced on February 11th of 2021. It was decommissioned as an overall design on April 23rd, 2021. The Type Bs, as you can see, were basic. They only had 2 guns on the rear, and it's also the first Overseer aircraft to have honey blocks as its old Overseer aircraft as honey blocks. It's most notable for, I gotta say, it wasn't the best one. Dale Curtis told me the other day is the biggest pile of junk you would ever work on, besides these. But these were mostly used during the Weeks War on the opposite side when the faction was split in kind of 1 man versus 11. These are still used to this day, but on the enemy side, as the Phantom still utilizes them to attack Overseer. Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Overseer History Season 2, Episode 5. This is the Type B Phantom aircraft. introduced in episode 5. This is also introduced on the series on my main, which I'll have a link down below. But in short, this is the Type B the Phantom uses to attack us during the series. Very similar to the first model variant. He utilized them during the Old Overseer Weeks War. That's what led to him getting his hands on them due to a blind betrayal. But in short, these aircraft, there was 310 of the originals. The Phantom possessed over 90 of them still. A lot of them were destroyed, but in short, these have a very interesting history. If you ever see one in your world, do not hesitate to contact us and we will get rid of them for you. As all, thank you. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Overseer History. This is the Type C Old Overseer aircraft for history. The Type Cs were manufactured right after the Bs, like 1 month later in late March. They were designed to replace the Type B because the Type B, if to be honest with you, was a major flop. The Type C was a little bit different design. It had front guns instead of front ramps. It did a lot better, although they suffered from more engine-related problems, so Dale Curtis and the rest of Overseer only built like 57, which was the least of any class of aircraft up until that point. But before I say anything more, hit like and subscribe now so we can get to 50 subs by the end of the month. No joke, guys, we're almost there. But Type Cs were the best known for helping out during the war. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Overseer History Season 2 Episode 7. This is going to be an extended video. Let's get right into it. This is Generation Type D 617 Gen 1. Type Ds were the most mass-produced old Overseer aircraft in history, making over 382 models. There were supposed to be 457, but the last 82 were never finished. But the Type Ds had 4 to 5 generations. In this video, we're going to talk about the first 2. First generations, I'm going to read the notes as follows. Type D 617 was commissioned on March 7th, 2021, built the same day. It was lost on April 13th, 2021, and it was the first gen leader of the class up until we get to the one next to us, which is Type D 671. 671 was commissioned in the Overseer fleet on March 13th, 2021. Second gens included improved navigation, engine upgrades, more guns, 6 guns in total, as you can see, instead of 5. So a major upgrade there. But these two both have history. Both of these are the first and second generations of the Type D class. But you're all wondering, what does the D stand for? All those letters gotta mean something. So the Type D stood for defense, which was the best thing Dale Curtis could have thought of at the time, because they defended Overseer. And as I just said, one of these guys was lost during the war. 617 was lost during the first day of the Old Overseer Weeks War. It got shot down on the first day. But tributes to it, this is obviously history, so I hope you guys had enjoyed this extended Overseer history. Hit like and subscribe, and yeah, see you in the next videos. Talk to you later, guys. Bye. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Overseer History Season 2, Episode 8. This is the Type D Generation 3 and 4. We're going to talk about this one first. Type D 730. Type D 730 was commissioned between Marches 14th and 15th, 2021. The Gen 3's most notable features were they added a combat chip and improved range and flight bugs. The previous generation had a numerous problem with flight, and it was always struggle to keep them up in the air, so they added this to debug it, and also a combat chip. Also, it's called runtime chip. It makes it go into overdrive, and it goes into full combat mode. That's how they work. So, in a second, we're going to talk about the one next to us. Now, you already probably can see the next one to us is a little different than the one that we're looking at. This is Type D 930 defense class, which is also the 4th generation of the defense class. It's also wearing the Overseer Royal livery, which is purple and blue back in William's days. But this one's unique because this was the most used one during the Weeks War. A lot of them were scrapped or got shot down, but their kill count was unmistakable against Gerald Gifter's unhinged possessionness against them. They shot them down a lot. It took 200, maybe 90 Type Bs to shoot down a Type D. That's how good they were. But I gotta say, these were probably one of the most powerful aircraft in the Overseer fleet for their time. Now we'll see how it goes from there, but have fun, guys. Hit like and subscribe. We are getting close to 50, so we can start the podcast. So thank you guys so much. Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Overseer History, Season 2, Episode 9. We are on the 5th and final generation of the Type D now, as you can tell. You probably guess what it is. If you've seen the Overseer in the Phantom series, you might know it. But if you don't, you're in for a treat. And here inside Fab Shop number 2 is... there it is. The Type D 985A. So I'll explain as best I can of what it is. So after Dale Curtis was freed in the Nether from Episode 5, or not Episode 5, maybe a later episode, he helped me... he had a new design to modernize the Type Ds before he went missing. So he modernized the 4 survivors of the Weeks War, which are 984, 986, 987, 988, and 990, I believe, or 985. It's one of those numbers, but this stands for Defense Apex because it's the most strongest form of the Type D. We still use the 4 that are left from the Weeks War. And Type D 988 would be its own video, which I'll do probably in the future. But thanks, guys. This is Type D Generation 5. Shout out to the Type D 985A for its dedicated service to the Overseer. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Overseer History Season 2, Episode 10. Here it is. The Type E. Type E... we're supposed to replace the D class in the end of March, but that didn't happen. So I will tell you the story in this part, and then it'll carry over to Type F because their stories are intertwined. But let's get out of the way. This thing has 11 guns, better engine, supposed to be. Dale Curtis made it so it had a quick release, so if it broke down, they can drop the engine. Problem: this class and the Type F class, which we'll see next video, they had a problem with sticking. The engine locks when it dropped, if the engines were malfunctioning. So, ended up getting rid of an Overseer member that betrayed Overseer at the end of the Weeks War because his engine got shot out by a Type D class member, and it locked up his Type F engine. He crashed into a million pieces. He was ripped from limb from limb. But Type Bs definitely weren't an improvement of the older class. Hi guys, and welcome back to Overseer History Season 2 Episode 11, the Type F Mark 1. So the Type E's here as well because they both suffer from the same problem, so I'll get into the story now. The first Type F to roll off the assembly line was this one, Type F 10013. It was the prototype of the class. So it was the base point that Dale Curtis used to build the other 12 prototypes, or well, full class members up. But I will tell you, these things were tanks until they took some damage. So let's talk about a little bit that I'm going to explain in an upcoming episode to what happened to one of these. Actually, a lot of them were scrapped. A lot of the Fs were shot. Well, one was shot down, which I'll get into in a bit and maybe in the next video because it pertains to the next video more, and it gives out some spoilers to the end of the Weeks War. But the Type Fs also had the quick release engine latch. The Fs were known to stick a lot more than the Es because they had another engine in the middle. So they were pretty bad to control, which led to Dale Curtis not renewing either the E or the F's contracts to keep them in the Overseer fleet. So they had tickets just like their great-grandfathers, the Type A's. They had tickets when their engines were ready to expire, which we'll talk about in an upcoming video, or the upcoming podcast. So definitely stay tuned for that one, because we just got up to log 14, so you guys should be checking them out now. Definitely should be checking them out. But definitely the Type F's were a massive failure, as well as the Type E's. This was showing the decrease of a decline in Overseer's tech. In the old group, Dale Curtis was even frustrated, going out on the limb and saying, "These things were not meant to be built by us. These were never meant to be built in the first place." So the Type F's were a massive failure. We'll talk about the Type F 10020 in an upcoming video, because that's the one that has the sad story. And it pertains to an Overseer member, Gerald Fritz von Gifter, William's brothers. So definitely hit like and subscribe and enjoy this next content coming out. And yes, go check out the podcast. That's all for me. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Overseer History Season 2, Episode 12, Overseer Type F Mark II. So, after the failure of the E in the Type F Mark I, Dale Curtis had one more blueprint up his sleeve to finally put the Type F's on the roadmap to recovery, which was this version. Only 3 original prototypes were made, which was Redstone Co., IRL IND, which was Gerald's and Williams. However, after Dale Curtis was freed from the Nether and he came back, he had the blueprints. So we have newer ones. This particular one is number 9, which is Construction Co.'s one, which was in a battle and a fight on the world recently. As you can see, it's definitely armored, 20 free guns, 6 pushing, 12 pulling. It's one of the most strongest aircraft on the face of the game. So definitely pretty cool history, guys. Wait till you see the next video. Bye. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Overseer History Season 2, Episode 13. The one you all been waiting for but didn't ask for. Season 2, Episode 13 is targeted at one of the Type D class members, and it's astounding history to protect Overseer from harm. Let's start with the very beginning. Type D 988A, or Type D 988, was a 4th gen class Type D. It was one of the last ones built by Dale Curtis before he went missing on April 7th. One of the last few from the line that were released. Definitely, Type D was exceptionally good in combat, with the Generation 4s having a lot of good buffs I mentioned in a prior episode. But Type D 988 is definitely the pride of the fleet, because it survived combat over combat use, even the most decorated Overseer aircraft in the war. How'd it get to be? Well, I'll tell you its story. During the week's war, Gerald tore Overseer in 2. It was part of winning the war and destroying Gerald's group from the ground up with his Type Bs. And it destroyed them very well. It torched many Type Bs. A lot of them were destroyed. But sadly, during its last mission, I'll tell you its mission now. April 15th, 2021, Nathan Green was tasked to hunt down Gerald's Type F, which we mentioned prior episode 2. He chased it down. He told Type D to break rank and pursue Gerald. Type D did. Fired a salvo. 3 arrows punctured Gerald's engine. It was too much for the Type F because they had problems. It crashed, spiraled out of control, and the Type D was awarded the most decorated aircraft in the process. But before Gerald was shot down, he dropped a few bombs from his working guns, and it broke the rear turret off Type D 988A and it crashed to the ground. Then William fixed it, served the rest of the war. It went and sat in a shed for 3 years without its location being known, until I got told William's coming back and he wanted me to retrieve this relic. The relic was the Type D 988. Very withered, beaten down, definitely seen some harsh use over the years. It was sitting, but we brought it back to life. It revealed one of the most trivial Redstone Co. secrets, which Dale will reveal to you, because Dale Curtis is going to be on the last episode. But In short, it has a very cool ability, but Type D 988 was refitted in January 29, 2024 to have better weaponry. It was refitted when we freed Dale Curtis from the Nether. He had a blueprint to fix the Type Ds, and one of them being it was turned into Type D 988A, as we all know and love now. Hey y'all, my name's Dale Curtis, Dale C. Curtis. I used to be the head of the Redstone company, part of the Overseer group back in January to April of 2021. But I want to talk to y'all personally because Evan is out sick and he's actually in a meeting to get our next podcast video up and going. Maybe have me on there too. But I'm shooting my mouth off. Today you guys want to know what happened to all my machines and what happened to them after they were gone. So I got a list in front of me. Let's get right to it. The Type A's, there was about 250 of them. There was less than 5 left in existence. One of the last ones is Henry's, which is going to be put in the Overseer Museum in the Capitol. Now it's going to the Type B's. The Type B's were the biggest piece of junk that were ever made. I don't get how the Phantom could keep them in primer and paint and keep them functioning so long when they were the biggest flop of the Overseer branch. So they were bad. 310 members originally. They were all decommissioned on 4/23/21, but the Phantom still uses them to attack us even though they're bogus. So Type C's. The Type C's were an interesting attempt for me to revive the older models, but they were commissioned on February 15th, 21. They were decommissioned on March 13th, 21. There was only 58. All of them were scrapped. Now on to the Type D's, the fan favorite among all viewers on this platform. The Type D's started service in March 17th of 2021. They were all retired on the 23rd. However, on 5/19/24, they were refitted, also on 5/18. So they were served a second purpose. Type E's 13 members were all scrapped. Type F members, two or four survivors. And the Type F Mark IIs, which I reintroduced to the modern Overseer group, use them now as their heavy aircraft. Have any questions about what I just said, hit like and subscribe and make sure I can come on the channel sometimes or now. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and hopefully I'll see you guys another time. If you guys want me to come on next time, go to our post page if you want to see more content like this to vote. Get your votes in now. That's Dale Curtis, me, and